Fox News poll is now out. Let me share it with you. In the 2020 election, their election levels, the interest is through the roof. Right now, they say 52% of you say they're extremely interested, varies 26%, and not just 20%. This is incredible. 78% they would be satisfied if Joe Biden was their candidate. And right on his tail is Democratic socialist Bernie Sanders.
Well, our next guest argues Bernie could win the nomination this time around.
This all comes as we learn that Biden is going to enter the race. According to one publication, they're saying that The Atlantic is saying he's going to enter it next Wednesday. That's when his big announcement. Whether or not he's going to or not, we'll have to wait and see till next week. Here with more is Karl Rove, Fox News contributor and former senior advisor to President George W. Bush. Good morning to you, Karl.
Morning. Ainsley, get it under control. I am nervous about what's going on there. Henry's mixing his metaphors. They're going to be on a bad limb if they go down that path. And you got Kilmeade attacking the Cardinal of New York as a wise guy. What is going on? Get your adult supervision hat on. I meant it in the nicest way.
I meant he's a wise guy, not a wise guy.
Well,
he called him the best in the business earlier this morning. Who calls a Cardinal the best in the business?
Right. He's one of the best.
All right. There's a lot of good Cardinals.
Where are you? What's behind you?
That is the state capital of Texas on a beautiful Good Friday morning. The sunrise this morning in Austin has been spectacular.
Well, right. Thanks for joining us, Karl. We'll see you next week. Only kidding. All right, Karl, let's talk about Bernie Sanders. You watch that town hall, you see the numbers, and you say this guy's got a shot?
Yeah, look, I was impressed with the performance. First of all, the simple fact that he went on, because the pusillanimous Democratic National Chairman, Tom Perez, has had no Fox debates for the Democrats, which is an attempt to keep all the candidates off of Fox. He comes on, Bernie comes on to Fox, gets the largest viewership of any campaign event thus far, twice as many viewers on Fox as he had on CNN. I thought that was a smart move on his part. And look, I think there was, look, whiteboard time. Here's the strengths that I saw. He's run before, and it shows. He has learned from his past campaign. He's a lot more fluid. Brett goes after him on the tax cut, says the Trump tax cuts meant you paid an effective rate of $26,000 on your over $500,000 in income last year. And he says, I paid all the taxes I owe, and quickly pivots and said, I released 10 years of tax returns. President Trump ought to do the same. Martha says, well, you know, here's Mayor Pete. He says new generation of leadership. You'd be 79 if you were sworn in as president. He makes a joke. He says it's a fair question. He says it's not whether you're young or old, it's what you believe. Every time he brought it back to his message, and that demonstrated to me that he's learned from having run before. He really did a good job of softening the edges of socialism. Whenever the issue came up, he made it feel like warm and fuzzy, kumbaya, let's shake hands, let's say we're around the campfire. He focused on his agenda. In fact, at one point he said, Democrats will lose if we spend our time bashing Trump. He focused on what he was for. And finally, well, why'd I put it on there twice? Damned if I know, except it's probably a good point.
A good point. But if you try to smooth the edges of socialism, we all know the reality of socialism. So you, as a smart, savvy political strategist, President Trump is itching to run against a socialist.
Oh, yeah. And look, here's the downsides. Socialism ain't pretty. And you saw him sort of get himself tied up when he was talking about Medicare for all. Oh, Medicare for all is government-run health care, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something else. But, I mean, you know, once you get in there, it ain't pretty. And he tried to sort of dodge about it. But if you run a straightforward, deliberate, well-delivered campaign on socialism, it's not where the American people are. He couldn't help himself. Somebody made a glancing, I think it was Brett, said, you know, look at all the good jobs. No, it was Martha. Said, look at all the great jobs. The economy is good. He said, well, it's not Trump's. It's Obama's. It's the world's. It's, you know, he couldn't
Germany's
just pass
doing good,
it by.
too. So is Japan.
Germany's doing good, too. Japan, it's a global thing. So, you know, rather than just passing it by and going back to his, anytime, I mean, he got stuck on Trump and then really lied on details. This guy, you know, oh, well, don't worry. You know, how much is it going to cost? Well, everything we propose, we're paying for, he says, without telling you that it's trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. And it gets really sloppy at times. And I don't know whether it's just sort of, sort of age or whether it's just sort of his habit, but he gets sort of sloppy. And finally, he is really prickly.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
he couldn't help himself. He's on Fox, and they're giving him a great thing, a great venue, and he keeps sort
going
of
after Fox,
nicking the anchors and being really
very
prickly.
personal.
Brett tried to shut that
Yeah.
down, but it continued.
Yeah.
Real quickly, who's going to be tougher for the president to beat? Would it be Biden or would it be Bernie Sanders?
I don't think we know yet, because the question is, what is their mature, full message? If Biden comes out and says something like, we're all in this together, I'm a traditional Democrat, but I'm going to work with Republicans, I'll serve one term, we'll heal the country and turn the page to a new chapter for America, that'd be tough. But Bernie, I got to say, I thought it was interesting. I wrote the column almost immediately when it went up on Wednesday night. Some of the Trump campaign people said, you know what, we're paying attention to this guy. He is. We got to take him seriously.
All right, Karl Rove. He is not sloppy. He's not prickly, and he loves sunsets in Austin. By the way, he really loves
sunrises, Henry and Ainsley. Come on, put on your adult supervision hat. Mixed metaphors and attacks on the Cardinal. I cannot believe what is going on this morning.
I'm going to have a here.
Happy Easter, buddy.
Wow.
Thank you.